Nioh. Easy on the wallet, but is it... You know what, Dan? Could we push this one again?
Look, I think we should just get it over with.
Yeah, you're right. Blah, 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 here on Broken Gaming. Welcome, absolutely everyone, to Broken Gaming. I'm your co-host, Shea.
I am your other co-host, Dan, and hey, Shea, what have you been playing recently?
So after we talked about the Game Awards trailers that dropped last month, I guess now, I have been playing almost exclusively 2 games directly connected to those trailers. So I picked up Control, the first Control game, and I've been playing that. I haven't played a lot of it because the other game that I'm going to talk about has taken up so much more of my time, but it is a promising start and a very, very intriguing design to it. I don't know about premise yet.
I think because I had played it so much, I for some reason thought you had played this.
I definitely had it before.
And I'm so excited that this is your first true experience with it. I love that fucking game. In fact, it's now, again, same reason because of the VGA awards and everything. I think I'm going to end up replaying it as well, at least before it comes out. I tend to do that anyway, especially with big, heavy games like this. Friend of the show, Timmy, had given me kind of the definitive breakdown of what kind of stuff I need to play in order to get the full context, because all of this studio's games interconnect. There's a huge chunk of DLC for Control that has to do with Alan Wake, and that whole thing. And so all of it really matters. I don't think Max Payne is directly tied yet, but probably will be.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so
they made a Max Payne. That studio made a Max Payne game. That's tragic.
So look, you got to start somewhere. I mean, those games were objectively pretty fun when they came out initially, and it invented bullet time, basically. For video gaming, that was kind of the starting point. Whether that's good or bad in the long run, history will tell us at some point. But this game, I mean, this studio is just so innovative with how they do their gameplay that with this one being kind of a third-person shooter, and you're just scratching the surface as of now, right? Have you gotten into any of?
I just got the gun.
The real big.
Man, that's how early in the game I am. I talked to that fucking creepy ass janitor, went and got a gun.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how that normally goes. The fact that the second game for this line is going to be more melee based.
Yeah.
Is truly fascinating to me, and I want to see how they make that jump. I mean, have you ever played an Alan Wake? Because I have not.
I'll be honest with you.
We've talked about them.
We've talked about it kind of a lot, which is weird. But
that neither one of us have played?
I feel like I always think that I've played Alan Wake, and I am thinking of a completely different game, and I couldn't tell you what it is, but I don't think I've ever played Alan Wake.
Okay. The core mechanic in the first game, and I think they do it in the second game as well, is in order to do damage to any enemy, you have to shine a flashlight on them. We had done a quiz eons ago
Luigi's
about
Mansion.
how Duracell or a little bit Luigi's Mansion. It's hard-boiled Luigi's Mansion. Yes. And then the second game, it's being told by Alan Wake, and you don't always play as Alan Wake, you're a different character, but they are narrating. It's a cool studio. I'm endlessly fascinated with the stuff that they do, and I'm so excited to talk more about this with you once you get further into it. But Remedy Entertainment, man, they're fun as shit. Anyway, what was the one that you actually played? What was your big?
Hold on,
time
sorry.
bulk?
Hold on. I feel like was Was it The Witness that had a weird fucking Alan Wake tie-in to it?
Ooh. Hold on. Let's I can figure this out real quick by just going Remedyverse. The Remedy Connected Universe is known to include Alan Wake and Control. The official status of the Remedy's other games, Death Rally, Crossfire, and Max Payne within this universe is not yet known, although Quantum Break is officially not in it due to IP ownership issues. So Remedy had made that game Quantum Break that had like a TV companion that was like running concurrently, and like things that were happening in the show would actively affect the game. And so because of just legal stuff, they're not allowed to technically put any of that in there, but I think they've figured out a workaround.
Well, it is a scrapped Alan Wake game, is Quantum Break. The basis of a scrapped Alan Wake game became Quantum Break.
Okay. Yes. I think they just like certain mechanics, they were like, we could just is my understanding of that.
I'm not suggesting there are direct connections between the two. I'm just saying that it was initially planned as an Alan Wake game, and then they scrapped it and made it into Quantum Break.
Like how Devil May Cry started out as a Resident Evil or something.
That makes sense. Because
I think we had talked about
the guy
that
who wears
the
point. Red leather trench coat that I always think is Leon Kennedy is in Devil May Cry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. But yeah.
I feel pretty confidently that The Witness had like a... No, because this is going to drive me insane, but I can't think of the game. You go to like a museum kind of a thing, and it's like... Never mind. Never fucking mind.
The Stanley Parable. The answer is always the Stanley Parable.
Actually, I think you might be right. I think that's true.
I think I might be right too. The game we forgot we played.
Dude.
On an anniversary episode with 2 guests.
Listen,
oh boy.
I went into a fugue state editing that episode, and so it's completely left my brain.
Understandable.
But all right, sorry. Stanley Parable it is. Anyway, the other game that I have been basically mainlining since we recorded last has been the Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. And I've played the second one a good bit. It's I want to say still available on PlayStation Plus, but I got the Enhanced Edition, which ironically came with the old edition also for some reason. Like it gave me both games.
Yeah.
Which seems weird, but c'est la vie. But it was in like a Steam sale for like $4, and I was like, sure, why not? And so I've been playing the shit out of that. And I am really having a great time with that.
I have no experience with this franchise at all. So give me everything. Give me everything I need to know.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I'm not really sure what's going on here.
Excellent. No, that's good.
So you play as what's called a Source Hunter, which Source is, I guess, like the evil magic that people are using or could use. It's very confusing because, like, obviously there's a wizard class in your party almost immediately.
Sure.
You know, one of the options for the pro tags that you can pick is like a magic base class, and I'm very confused about what qualifies as good and bad magic in this game. But your job is to basically hunt down Source users. I think Source is like, I don't know, there was some kind of like cataclysmic event, and there's like a rift in the world that connects to some demonic plane or some shit, and Source comes out of that, I believe, is what the long and the short of it. So kind of how in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and I assume Kingmaker, although I don't remember for sure, there's like a world wound kind of a thing that powers the bad guys, and I think it's similar in this game. But again,
I mean, it's a pretty common like fantasy trope, and especially in video games. I mean, Oblivion does it a little bit, Dragon Age does it a little bit. Like, there have been a bunch of examples of this, of like, oh no, there's rifts. What are we gonna do?
I completely forgot that Dragon Age did this. I don't know why. I've
Oh
fucking played
yeah.
that game like 75 times. Anyway.
It's but it is one of those things where like it works, like, and it doesn't ever really feel, it can feel contrived, but like when done right, it's a pretty good jumping off point.
Sure. So the reason I don't really understand what's going on is, and I am very confused by the naming conventions that they use in this series. Original Sin is like different. Like there's Divinity games, correct?
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Okay. So I am guessing that my confusion is coming from the fact that I've jumped in what I assume to be the 5th or 6th game, and they're just like, hey, you should know this by now. But all the other games like came out before I was born or whatever, or whatever. And I'm just really struggling to grasp like what the rules are in the world,
Yeah.
So I've spent about 12 hours in the same town trying to solve a murder that they continually tell me I need to leave town to solve. And I just won't do it because I'm so fucking low level that I'm scared of the skeletons. But yeah, I've been having a great deal of fun doing that, not solving a murder, and save scumming every single roll that I have to do because I made 2 characters that have 0 charismatic skills. So they can't fucking talk to people. And funnily in this game, and I think it kind of adjusts when you like have to use a skill check, but like NPCs, if they're like part of a quest line and you're not playing the main character that you make, they won't talk to you. They'll tell you, hey, I'll only talk to your boss, and then like that's the end of the interaction.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. I don't really understand why. Like I think there's like some personality shit that goes into the dialogues. So I think they like wrote them with just your protag's qualities in mind, but it's very funny that people would be like, shut up, underling, and won't talk to you anymore.
Okay, so real quick, I'm just looking at the release schedule, or the release list for this series, and I'm
you
so
don't need
confused.
to tell me you don't need to tell me that all of the games have come out in my lifetime. I know that.
No, that's not even the problem. Okay, so Divine Divinity is the first one. Beyond
I have
Divinity,
that game too. Both of those games came with the enhanced edition for some reason.
Okay. Divine Divinity in 2002, Beyond Divinity in 2004, which is listed as the sequel to Divine Divinity. Right.
Okay.
So then it's Divinity 2, which is not the second game. It is the third game. And then there's an additional release.
The first one just called Divinity, so...
Yeah.
Oh
right.
My god.
And then there's Divinity 2, the Dragon Knight Saga, which I assume is just like either an addition to the first 2 or it's 2-2. I don't know. Then
I think it's like one of those like mini Final Fantasy breakdowns. You know what
X2.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then Dragon Commander, which was an RTS, and then Original Sin. So like, I am tickled by the fact that there's an Original Sin and an Original Sin 2, which would, by the definition of what Original Sin is, would not be accurate. It is the subsequential sin at best.
Well, no. See, before Original Sin came out, everybody was still divine. Then,
I see.
Your ass commits a sin in Original Sin, and here we are.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. I love just silly nonsense like this. So this is the studio that did Baldur's Gate, right?
Baldur's Gate 3, yes.
Okay.
Larian, yes.
You played Baldur's Gate 3?
A good chunk of it, yeah.
Are you noticing any like big similarities? Because
I'll tell you.
I had to
make
a guess.
I'll tell you what we're talking about here. All right.
Yeah.
Divinity Original Sin 2 has the exact same large arc as Baldur's Gate 3 to start the game. Like in Baldur's Gate 3, you're on a spaceship that crashes and you end up on a beach and there's like one town around and then you kind of explore from there. In Divinity Original Sin 2, you're on your way to a prison isle and your ship crashes and you explore the beach and explore out from there. It's eerily similar.
Okay.
I haven't noticed so much in the first one though. To answer your question.
All right.
But the second one is, I would say, a forerunner for Baldur's Gate 3 for sure.
But like gameplay wise, like is there large similarities? Because my understanding is that this is kind of like store brand D&D, and Baldur's Gate is name brand D&D. It's just made by the same people. Am I at all on the right track on that?
Yeah, I mean, there are similarities in the sense that like every game that is trying to emulate what a D&D experience, store brand or name brand aside, there are similarities in how those games are played for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would definitely say that this is maybe like Baldur's Gate 3 without the official Wizards of the Coast license. So it's, they've, slightly altered the mechanics and the names of shit. But I would say that they are similar only in the sense that like every tabletop RPG emulating game are similar.
It's just
similar.
real homebrewy comparatively.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I thought this landed.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's something that I should probably try at some point. I do like the setting. I do like D&D stuff. I don't know why I don't play more things like that, if I'm being honest. But
because that's what you have me on the show for.
That's probably true.
It's my fucking specialty to do that shit. No, I'll be honest with you. It is sometimes a struggle to like get into some of those games because so much is predicated on dice rolls, and I feel like we've covered it once or twice on the show, but digital dice do not like me even a little bit. So, I'll know.
Give me those
what
real clickety clacks, baby.
Yeah.
I can't use digital dice.
Yeah, if I'm gonna fail, I need to fail on my own.
Yeah. No, I fully agree with that. Like, I need to physically watch my suffering. I can't leave it to chance, for sure.
Right. And I think that that's maybe like not to get into a discourse about any of this, but real quick, I think that's maybe like the disconnect between like a real tabletop experience and like a video game crafted around a tabletop experience is that like when I fuck up a dice roll, the DM just kind of pivots and now we don't know what that loophole was. Whereas in a video game, I'm like, I definitely know what's happening next. And the fact that I failed my perception check to see the thing that's on the screen is insanely frustrating to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, no, I definitely agree with that.
Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Dan, what have you been playing?
Fuck all. So I just
it is that time of year, huh?
Well, it's that time of year for sure. Holidays are busy. I actually got to like see people this year, which was nice. Like I
nice.
consciously made plans to do things, but I did do some like just clean up work of some of the stuff I had been playing. I don't think we talked about it, so I did finish Yakuza Pirates in Hawaii.
Nice.
Kind of disappointing overall, if I'm being honest, for a franchise that I adore. Felt very short. Was not at all worth the $60 price tag that they were asking. Glad I got it on sale.
They wanted $60 for that game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a full price. Well, I mean, full price,
right, yeah.
Relatively speaking.
Didn't they fucking market it as like an in-between game?
Yes.
You know
and
what I
that's
mean?
kind of the problem. And because like when they released The Man Who Lost His Name, or whatever that one was called, where it kind of talked about Kiryu becoming a motherfucking secret agent or whatever the shit was going on in that, where he had James Bond-ass gadgets and things. Like, it was very clearly an in-between.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Infinite Wealth was kind of almost billed as an in-between, but that was a fully fleshed out game. This was very short. A lot of the gameplay revolved around ship battles, which was a completely new mechanic for the series. Done about as good as Assassin's Creed 4 and all the subsequent games that had that in it for Assassin's Creed. Although it had the Yakuza spin on it of like, you can have a gun that shoots just ice out of it and you can freeze other ships because the game is fucking ridiculous.
Sure.
But like, it was sort of a new combat system, only had the 2 fighting styles as opposed to the traditional 3 that you do when it's the beat 'em up style, which it was kind of, I don't know. They were too drastically different. Like, it was either Majima dressed as a pirate or Majima dressed in street clothes. And the pirate one, you like had 2 fucking huge cutlasses that you were just going ape shit with. A flintlock pistol because pirates.
Love that shit.
Yep. And then like eventually a hook that you could do like Spider-Man grapples with.
Nice.
Kind of interesting. But then again, Yakuza, as you did the pirate quests, fully like going after treasure type things, you found these like cursed instruments that could just allow you to summon animals into battle. Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of. Like in the one, you just could, like, you wailed on a guitar, and what was the guitar? This isn't unimportant. You wailed on an instrument, and then a giant chimp.
I absolutely
need to know the specific
the name of the guitar
matchup.
Because I know it fucking had a guitar, a fucking name.
Oh, they for sure did. Hold on. I will get them, and I will give you the exact matchup for the animal it summoned.
Hell yes.
All right. Hey, Shea, want to play a game?
Oh, I love these games. The ones where I'm never, ever going to guess the answer.
Yep. All right. So there were 4 dark instruments that you ended up picking up throughout the course of the pirate quests, and they are a violin, I believe like an ocarina, an electric guitar, and a saxophone.
Of course.
So what animals related to, I don't know, pirate and island culture, we'll say, do you think each one of those instruments summoned?
One of them's got to be a parrot. One's a monkey. One is an octopus. Probably a crab. I don't know. Oh, shark.
Yeah. So the shark's the first one you get. Strangely, like what I would think be the most vicious of all of them.
Yeah.
The violin summons a bunch of sharks.
Okay.
That just and like you're on land for a good chunk of this, so it's like just ghost sharks, I guess.
Yeah.
It's fine. Ocarina summons jellyfish, so close with the octopus. The electric guitar, a giant ape. Literally, they refer to it as a sadistic ape. Just a giant chimpanzee. And then, yeah, the last one, I think, is the saxophone, and it is a giant parrot.
Hell yeah.
Like Quetzalcoatl-sized motherfucking parrot that just, like, flaps its wings and causes tornadoes. It's so fucking Yakuza.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, ultimately, like, they had all the standard mini games, batting cage stuff, and golf, and yada, yada, yada. And, like, what sucked about them is they made them compulsory in order to get all of the treasures.
Yeah.
Because normally you can skip through all of those, and you could skip through all of those in this as well. But rather than just being like, yeah, you can get this really specific piece of equipment by nailing the closest to the pin golf thing, you had to do that in order to complete the treasure quests. Which, like, I play them in all of them anyway, but, like, if I get to a certain point, I'm like, all right, I've done that enough. Like, I don't need this thing that badly. Because I'm not a super completionist when it comes to these games, because there's just so much happening. This kind of felt much more like, all right, let's just get this over with. And I didn't love that. But
yeah,
I don't know. Samoa Joe did a good job as the antagonist, and I hope that's a thing that they continue to do, is just like pull real world actors and or pro wrestlers in this particular case turned actor and have that Well, he's in Twisted Metal. He's Sweet Tooth in Twisted Metal.
Mm-hmm.
Critically acclaimed.
I don't know that fucking Samoa Joe is getting the critical acclaim, but sure.
No, it's Lisa Gilroy. You're right. Anyway, so yeah, finished that. It was what it was. I still have to go back in the series and do 4 through 6, I think.
Yeah.
But they just announced the remaster for 3, which I did not end up finishing because it was just hard to do with the graphics that were there, and it just felt clunky. So I may just end up waiting for all the remasters to come out because I know they're going to happen. So sometime for PlayStation 7, I'll be able to finish the series. Who knows? But other than that, really nothing. I finished that Thank Goodness You're Here, and that was one of the weirdest indie experiences I've ever had. And I don't really want to talk about it. It was just, it's a thing that you can play if you feel like playing it. If you want to play like a weird British cartoon, essentially, go for it. It was odd. Like, Kit and I just stared at the screen like, this is actually happening. Okay. Okay. Cool. Oh, no. I'm done. Great. Delete. Wasn't bad. Just fucking, I don't know what the point of it was. And that's going to bring us to our game today, because there's a lot of things in this game that I did not know what the point of them were, but we're going to get into it. But we shall start, as we always start, with our short change history. Today we are talking about Nioh, which is a 2017 action RPG developed by Team Ninja and published by Koei Tecmo and internationally by Sony Interactive. Initial development of Nioh started all the way back in 2004 as a multimedia project based on an unfinished script by, ready for this, Shea? Legendary filmmaker Akira Kurosawa. In fact, when it was... Yeah. Yeah, actually, let's take a minute to let that breathe. I had no fucking idea. Even after having played it for as long as I played it, until I started writing the short change, I did not know this. For those of you who don't know, Akira Kurosawa may be the most influential film maker in Japanese history, responsible for Rashomon, Yojimbo. Like, he's the fucking guy when you discuss like Japanese filmmaking. In fact, when it was first being worked on, it was originally planned to be a title for the PlayStation 3. After a tumultuous pre-production, updates were sporadic until 2015, where the concept was reintroduced to the public, now as a PS4 title. After overwhelmingly critical and commercial success, shipping over 1 million units in just the first 2 weeks, Nioh 2...
Holy shit.
Yeah. Nioh 2, a prequel, was put into pre-production almost immediately and released in 2020. A third installment is set to release in the early part of this year. The remastered edition of Nioh, released in 2021, is currently available for PlayStation and PC platforms. All right, so let's, like a Band-Aid, get this part out of the way.
Sure.
Hey, Shea.
Yeah.
How'd you fare with this?
Bad. I believe I'm still in the second tutorial area. I'm confused about that dream sequence at the dojo, but and then the castle that you're in England.
Yeah. So I would argue you're out of the tutorial. You're in kind of this liminal space right now between tutorial and the actual game, because they haven't given you most of the things that you need as of yet, but they still expect you.
Which is crazy.
Boy, is it ever.
Yeah, let's talk about what the game is, right?
Right. This is, unbeknownst to us when we picked it, kind of a Souls-like. Like, definitely the most Souls-like game that we've played, if you don't count Hollow Knight games.
Sure.
It has all the major tentpoles of what makes a Souls game a Souls game. And it is fucking rough. So, Shea, tell us about what this game actually is, like, from what your experience has been thus far. I know that's the thing that we're supposed to do, but like,
yeah. It feels kind of like a kill yourself simulator where you just run around a beach and die to people that you've beaten a bunch of times already, but in different places. So, like, you kind of travel between shrines, killing minions and breaking shit apart to get a currency that I'm still unclear where it applies.
Yeah.
There's little Pikmin around too that you can find, and they'll go back to your shrine to give you a little blessing the next time you visit.
They are very Pikmin-like, aren't they?
Yeah, and I mean, from a from a story perspective, I'm so in the weeds on that shit, man. Like,
right.
You're a guy in England who was arrested and put in the Tower of London for an unclear crime. You escape because a ghost angel breaks a wall for you. You leave the Tower of London and then somehow have no problems boarding a boat to Japan, which I don't know exactly when the story is set.
Exactly the year 1600.
Okay, cool. So not at a time where you could travel by boat to Japan.
I mean, really, your only option, realistically.
I don't remember. Did they tell you how you got, like, what route you take to get to Japan?
There might have been a cutscene that gave you, like, that, like, Magellan-ass style, like, dotted line sort of whatever.
Did they go through Latin America or did they go around Cape of Good Hope?
Solid question. No fucking clue.
Doesn't matter.
This feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah.
So anyway,
let me give you
let
me help you out with some.
Yeah. And he's destined to save the whatever dynasty is in power at the time.
Okay. So let me fill in some gaps on context.
Sure.
You play as William Adams, who is a blonde-haired Irishman who is in pursuit
Sorry, just real quick. I do want to back up here a second.
Yeah.
William Adams is not a fucking Irish name, even a little bit. Moving on.
Nope. You are in pursuit.
They said we're making a white guy. Who cares?
Here's okay. I have so many thoughts. But let me try to at least get through the preamble portion of this.
Yeah.
You're in pursuit of ostensibly a wizard who captures a spirit that is like kind of your familiar in order to harvest these fucking crystal things that are life force, which is one of your currencies in this game, in order to help Queen Elizabeth I take over the world.
Oh my god. This is all coming back to me now.
Yep.
He's literally a wizard. Like he's
literally a
fucking
wizard.
Merlin. He's Queen Elizabeth's Merlin.
Yes. Correct.
And that's
you
right.
land.
He sends a shitty guard to fight you on top of the tower. You beat him with the greatest of ease. It is and he rips your animal away and flees to Japan.
Yep. Because I have a very loose understanding of why that is. It's just that because of the yokai that are all over Japan, it has a lot of spiritual energy and therefore easier to harness the fucking whatever I don't know. So literally, this is in order to secure victory in the Anglo-Spanish War. Because here's the thing, Shay.
Oh, that's right. Jesus Christ, I forgot.
This is loosely based on actual historical events from around the year 1600. The Anglo-Spanish War and the beginning of the Edo period. Because when you land in Japan...
Sorry, just real quick. The setting is the only thing that's based on real events, correct?
No. Because...
No.
Because when you arrive in Japan, it is in the very late Sengoku period, which is where all of the clans of Japan are all warring against each other before they're kind of like all put under one banner, which is the beginning of the Edo period. So like you are dropped into peak wartime Japan and white savior the ever living fuck out of it. Because in order to pursue said wizard, you just like decide to help a specific clan out, which is an actual historical clan in Japan. You run like over your travels, you meet and assist Hattori Hanzo, fucking Nagayoshi, like actual historical figures from Japanese history.
Yeah.
Are just around, like, helping you out, and you helping them out. It's so bonkers. It's fine. It's fine. And then, of course, yokai motherfucking everywhere. So you have primarily just been dealing with, like, bandits at this stage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you come across, like, any undead? Because there are some in that first stage. Right. So they have these like revenants that are like fallen soldiers or fallen whatevers that like you come across, but it gets so wildly out of control in like big fuck off oni of different types and that goddamn umbrella yokai that is just like in every iteration of Japanese culture in which they discuss yokai, they feel the need to have this goddamned umbrella yokai, which is just an umbrella with an eyeball and a foot.
Listen, man, it's the video game industry's Ragnarok and Valhalla. I don't know what to tell you.
You're so right. And like Japan has been the flavor of the month for like a little bit now. Like so many games, so many studios are working on games set in Japan. I don't fucking know. And this like predates a good chunk of that. Like I'm not saying this is bandwagoning. But like the yokai thing for sure has been a thing that like, cause I played Ghostwire Tokyo, and like a lot of the same shit that you deal with in that you deal with in this. And it's, I don't know. So, okay. The game differs from other Souls-likes in that it's kind of done in capsule stages. Like each one of the stages is a point A to point B, and then you move on to just a different place, and then again, point A, point B. Then there are submissions that you can do that are point B to point A on the same map, where it's like, okay, you got to go back to that place because my friend lost this thing and it's like super duper important. So we need you, Mr. White Savior, to go back in there. And now that you cleared out all the bandits, it's like overrun with yokai. And like, we know that you, blonde Irishman, are well more equipped to do that than any of our fucking generals or mythical heroes or very literal magicians and or sorcerers of our own. We want you to do this with your minimal equipment and armor and experience.
Can I tell you what my hope is for this game? Like, what? It's never stated, but it's just like, this is how they wrote the game, as like a tee-hee behind their hands, you know? My hope is that every mission that you get sent on, it's like the lowest yokai that they're sending you to deal with.
It is.
And they're just like, let's get this fucking idiot out of the way for a minute.
It is so not. Now, having talked to Timmy about this,
but
well, here's the fucking really weird thing about this. And when Timmy told me this, I did not believe him, and then I experienced it for myself. Arguably, the most difficult part of the game is the first stage. And it kind of does a U-bend of difficulty, where it's like, you'll get to a point where I was able to beat bosses and stages on the first try at a certain point. And that doesn't make sense because I am not good at this type of game.
Okay, but who made it out of the first area?
That was after like really, truthfully, beating the first boss was absolute luck. I do have to ask this because I don't know that I remembered to ask you this when we were doing any of this. Mm-hmm. In the shrine, there is a tab that says boons. Did you happen to fuck around with that?
Probably. If it was a game menu, that's what I spent most of my time doing because I wasn't doing very well with the gameplay. So
did you get the gold armor that comes from just owning the remastered edition?
Oh, yeah, and let me tell you why I couldn't use that, Dan, because it weighs too fucking much.
Yeah. Okay.
I physically could not carry I physically couldn't wear it.
Yeah, I think you need to level up, some number of times.
And I did. I fucking did. It's just that, I had decided on the two swords, which is
speedy build.
a lighter build for sure. And so they were like, your lowest stat is going to be the one that lets you carry shit. And I was like, okay.
Yep. You got over cucumbered immediately, and it's some real bullshit. So, right.
Yeah.
This will be the time that I'm going to get into how fucking many systems there are in this game.
Yeah.
RPGs will have a couple different systems for leveling up and whatever. This has all of them, every one of them. So your standard is leveling up in the most traditional RPG sense of things. Now, instead of gaining experience, which you kind of have, so that's another thing.
You gain experience with your weapons.
Yeah, so there's actual XP with weapons. But to upgrade you as a person, you have to collect the fuck do they call them? Because there's 20 million different currencies in this shit as well.
Oh, I couldn't tell you, but it's the ghosts of your enemies.
Yeah, it's souls. It's souls. Let's call it what it is. It has a cute, a special name for this. It's it's not animus, but it's not far off of animus. It's something. I don't care, man.
Sure.
From killing enemies, you get that shit. And then you turn those into the shrine.
Amrita?
Yes.
Amrita?
Yeah. Amorosa. You get those, and you take them to a shrine, and then you level your shit up. Now, just for your leveling, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different places you can put those. Body, heart, stamina, strength, skill, dexterity, magic, spirit. Now, listener, you might be thinking, a lot of those kind of correspond to each other. Magic and spirit within normal gameplay things are kind of the same thing. And I would tell you, yes, you're right. However, outside of those 8, each one of those then kind of arbitrarily will level up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 different stat levels.
Yep.
Those include things like life and ki and specific attack for your number 1 and number 2 slots for both melee and ranged, your defense, your max equipment weight, your equipment rate by weight, which I don't fully understand what the difference is there and why needs to be 2 different categories. 3 different things for ninjutsu power, 3 different things for Nioh power, which is your magical spells that you can have because sure. And then resistances to the yokai realm, poison, paralysis, and then of course your bond to your guardian spirit. Great. Now, one would think that even within those things that they would kind of make sense. Your strength would correspond to how much weight you can carry. No, of course not. Why would that be the case? They more so have to do with your attack stuff. Your stamina, maybe? No, that kind of has more to do with how much you can run and shit, which is based on ki. There are too many fucking things. And that is, Shea, only dealing with your leveling in stats. Because in addition to that, you have...
Just for clarity, real quick, this
Yeah.
doesn't happen on the fly. Like, you have to, in addition to having all of this shit, you also can't do it unless you're at a shrine.
Correct.
Like, it's not happening in real time.
It's in a shrine or in the overworld, because once you get through a stage, you can access the shrines and all of the other things that have to do with increasing your character in the overworld. Now, those things will include shit like the blacksmith. Now, under most normal RPG circumstances, you go, you buy equipment, maybe you even level up equipment. That'd be great. Okay, that's not the case here, because there are different things. You can forge weapons, which arbitrarily give you a range as to how good this might be. So there's like a luck of the draw aspect to it, where there's rarity levels of all the equipment. And so I just pulled it up right now based on the types of things that I use for it. So, like, to make this specific type of katana, I need ingots, I need lacquer, and I need, basically, it's just the shit that you use. Using the best versions of all of those, I have a 39% chance to get the very rare, 14% to get fairly rare, 27% to get uncommon, 20% to get common. That's
Yikes.
using all of the best stuff. Now, I have the best chance. I'm going to do it right now in real time, and let's see what I get.
This is going to be bad for the point that you're making if you get the ultra rare one, but...
Oh, no, we got common.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Now, Dan, I have to ask.
Yeah.
The best versions of that stuff, how easy is it for you to find those things?
Wildly difficult, because you have to do the submissions for the most part in order to get those. So you have to spend real world hours going back through stages that you've already done in order to get those as rewards for completing them. It's not even like you can just like dip in and be like, okay, I can farm this stuff in this place and then like fuck off. You have to go through the whole stage, which could take, an hour to 3 hours, depending on the difficulty of the stage, depending on how large the stage is, depending on what the objectives of said stage are. That's saying you breeze through it and don't die a bunch, which you will do over the course of this.
What?
Plus, yeah. Okay, that's only forging. So on top of forging, there's also soul matching, where you can sacrifice one piece of equipment by using just a different currency all the fuck together to level match a weapon that you've become used to another item that you have. Now, that will change the stats a little bit. You will lose all of your familiarity with that weapon, so you're starting over from scratch.
So what's the point?
I've done it a lot because, like, I'll get a specific weapon that has specific traits to it because, hey, on top of all of the other things, there will be traits that these weapons will have where it's like it's good with stunning or it's good with whatever the fuck. Some will have like elemental things attached to it, like it'll do 15 water damage on top of your regular damage. So it's like I've gotten really used to doing this. I'm using this guardian spirit at this point that is that thing which boosts
made the build.
So I'll do that, but it does then fuck around with your familiarity with them. So you're starting over from scratch with that.
Yikes.
Sometimes that means that it'll actually drop the stats further down, like your actual damage stats to what it was that it was prior to, and you can spend a resource to like just level that up without anything. And I know that that's what you were referring to when you meant leveling up your weapon, but there's also leveling up weapon classes, which is an entirely separate thing that they don't really discuss with you at any point in time. And then in order to do the last training missions for each individual type of weapon, you have to have that fucking skill leveled up to 50 fucking thousand.
All right, Goku.
And they just don't tell you that that's a thing. Like, I found that out once I unlocked those dojo missions. And I'm like, wait, where do I even access that? Because that's not something that was discussed. So that was a thing. Okay, so that's for, I mean, there's other things. You can reforge them, you can refashion them, you can buy and sell weapons, but like that's all another set of systems. Then you have ninjutsu powers, which is a whole skill tree on top of the other things. That's accessed by spending like different, I don't even know how to explain this properly without losing my fucking mind at this point. There are skill trees that have skill points. There are 3 different types of skill points. There's one for melee combat, there's one for magic combat, there's one for ninjutsu combat. You consume locks of hair in order to get those skills, which are also given out as rewards. The ninjutsu powers are things along the lines of like throwing shurikens or poison traps and whatnot. It is largely useless. I didn't fuck around with it. Then there's the magic ones. Throw fireballs, light your fucking sword on fire or cover it in lightning, whatever the fuck. That's a whole another set of things. And then individual skill trees for each weapon type, all of which share the same pool of hair points. So there's that. That's another thing. Then
I forgot about the hair points.
Okay, I'm going to stop now because here's the thing. My point being, there are maybe 5 too many systems overall. I didn't even get into the titles. There are titles that you earn which give you different sets of points that you can then like spend in a it doesn't fucking matter.
I bet you Aaron would love this game.
Aaron, hey.
I bet you this is a fucking min-maxer's paradise.
Oh my god. Well, here's like, I'm a very seasoned RPG player. I am very familiar with how some of these systems work. I've never had this many systems in combination with each other, all running simultaneously, where I have to focus on things, grind in a way that like doesn't totally track for what normal skill progression is. Shea, I'm at level 108.
Mm-hmm.
In order to level up again, I would need, let's go ahead and look, only 560,000 Amrita.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How many bandits is that, would you say, Dan?
Oh, what's the population of Japan? What's the population of Japan in the year 1600? Because probably somewhere close. Yeah, this is batshit. So let's push all that to the side and then also state this is a Souls-like game, which means everything you come across is hard as fucking nails. It's pattern recognition. It's sometimes just luck when it comes to bosses of like, I really hope you don't do that one thing that's going to inevitably fuck me over. The second boss in the game is like a vampire lady who can just freeze you still with a stun move.
I love that shit.
And like then has a grapple thing where it just bites your whole fucking face off. And if they do those two things in combination, that's it. So you have to dodge, hit, dodge, block, dodge, dodge, hit, block, dodge. For, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but not by a lot.
Can I tell you just real quick?
Yeah.
This may not be a surprise to you, but what do you think I was worst at while playing this game?
Was it dodging?
In combat. It was fucking dodging, dog.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bad at Souls games. I don't want to dodge. I want to stab you faster than you're stabbing me. And that's what I want to do.
Like, there's a logic to this kind of thing that doesn't compute in my brain, which is dodging into things. And like, when I think about martial arts films or anything like that, it does track that like they do dodge roll like kind of towards an enemy in order to evade a strike. That does make sense in a cinematic way, but like not when I'm doing it because like I want to dodge to the side or the other side or backwards or whatever the fuck. Oh, I didn't even get to the fact that there's stances. There's like stances for each of the. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. Look,
We can't.
we can't.
Do you have pros? Do you have pros for this
Shea,
game?
I put in 137 hours into this.
Holy shit, dude.
I got really good. I am near the end of the game. I could probably complete the game. But you know what happened? I downloaded another game.
Okay.
It's called Core Keeper. It's a sort of kind of farming sim, sort of kind of crafty thing, sort of kind of whatever. And I was having fun. And what I realized was I wasn't having any fun playing Nioh. I was at the point where I was playing it habitually from a task-oriented part of my brain of like, all right, now I just got to do this thing, and I have to, okay, if I go back and I do this one, I can get these items, and then I can level up this thing, and then I was just doing it to do it. Like I was getting to the point where I was getting through enemies, like bosses, in kind of one go because I figured out what it was that they wanted me to do, but it was joyless. I thought I was having fun. I had tricked myself into thinking it was fun because of the dopamine hit of, okay, got through another one. That sucks. That sucks so hard. 137 hours of that.
I often wonder if games like that are not actually a dopamine rush. It's just, I can't think of it right now, but the stress chemical receding.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like you've gotten a dopamine rush. You know what I mean? And you're just returning to baseline. I don't have any science to back that up, but it's a hypothesis that I've been workshopping.
I mean, it tracks. Because I'm an anxious person, generally speaking, and the anxiety of like, fuck, no. Oh, like, yeah. You know what? I think there's something to what you're saying because it is the sweet release of like, oh, okay, I got through it. That it's not even dopamine so much as it is just like
relief. Yeah.
Like, it's serotonin. It's serotonin masking as dopamine. That's crazy. Holy hell. No, I think you're onto something.
Now that we've had that breakthrough, do you wanna throw some numbers?
I will give a couple pros and cons.
Okay, all right, yeah, sure.
Pro, I think as a first installment in a series, I think they were maybe too ambitious, but certainly very ambitious with some of the things that they were trying to accomplish with this. Like, if you're gonna do a Souls game, I would much rather this as an experience than just an open world where everything's trying to kill me at all times, always. Like, to have a defined start and finish to each stage, I think was, if you're trying to get into the genre, I think this is the way to go. Mm-hmm. Like, it is kind of baby's first Souls-like in that sort of way. If it's a genre that you want to get into, I think this is a good starting point. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to continue to try to do these kind of games, but we've talked endlessly about how I'm not good at this type of thing. This made me feel like I was getting somewhere. And that was kind of cool. The story is not terrible, despite the white saviorism. And I do want to note that the original script...
Just real quick.
Yeah.
You mean the story about a Irish man chasing a wizard to Japan and uniting Japanese clans was not bad? Story?
You're not uniting them. I mean, I don't know if that is what the end.
Well, that's
goal
what
is,
ends up happening, but
yeah, I don't know to what
and I assume
extent.
It has something to do with you killing yokai.
Yeah, kinda. Like the main. I mean, so the script that this was based on, what Kurosawa was working on, was about a blonde-haired, blue-eyed samurai that was born in Japan. One of his parents were, I believe, of like Anglo descent, which is why he looked that way, but he was very much Japanese. How that got twisted into full Aryan Irish.
Where is this? This studio is in Japan, correct?
Yeah, that's kind of the most baffling thing about this. to me is that like
Just wanted to check.
yeah. No, Team Ninja is a Japanese video game company. Like, it is a division of Tecmo, which is a Japanese video game company.
Fucking Sony published it, didn't they?
Well,
right? In
no.
International markets.
But here's the thing. Do you know what else Team Ninja's known for?
What's that?
The Dead or Alive series. The fighting games that kind of, like, popularized jiggle physics. So, like...
I hate what you just said.
I know.
Jiggle physics?
Uh-huh.
That's a discussion for another day, Dan. I'm not going to forget about that, and we're going to fucking talk about it again.
We must, because it's a thing. But no, like, Dead or Alive was a fighting game series, and then for, like, zero reason other than teenage boys, they had the Extreme Beach Volleyball series, where they just took all of those characters and put them in bikinis, and then it was, like, kind of sort of dating sim, kind of sort of volleyball, kind of sort of whatever. It's insane. That's the studio we're talking about. Now, they did Ninja Gaiden 2, but like in relation to what the fuck these people do, I feel like both of those need to be mentioned. Spotty at best.
Yeah.
That said, the story's interesting. I can't give it a lot of, like, I can't speak upon the merit of it or like what they changed about the original Kurosawa concept, but like there's at least some cool things going on, and like interacting with actual Japanese historical figures is like neat. When Hattori Hanzo is like, hey, my dad is in this place, we gotta go do a thing, and then his dad turns out to be a giant fucking frog god ghost thing, loses me maybe a little bit.
What are you talking about? That sounds perfectly rational.
Yeah, totally. The cons are everything I've talked about. Like,
yeah,
it's a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat at certain points that just doesn't need to.
And then 14 more hats.
And then just an entire haberdashery. And like, I think it would have benefited, even if in the sequel you were like, okay, we have all these systems and now we're going to add ninjutsu stuff or whatever, and like tack some stuff on for a later installment. Fine. That's perfectly reasonable. But it's too many things. It's too many things. There are some that I didn't even talk about that I'm just not going to get into. Like, there are so many systems. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah. Let's do some numbers.
Well, hold on. I have a con.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Generally,
you did play
generally
it. That's
speaking,
fair.
Generally speaking, I don't like to talk pros and cons on games that I didn't do very well in. But Dan, I'm famous for this corner, and we find ourselves once again
I knew
in
we were gonna be
Shea's
there.
corner.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
Okay. My gripe with this is not necessarily so much like camera angle and turning the camera,
Sure,
which has its problems. I'm more frustrated with the lock-on in this game. I don't know what it is. It feels like it's super sluggish when like the enemies move, but like it does not feel like you are locked on to anybody at any point unless you're trying to attack from range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know what that's like in a boss fight. I assume it's probably easier in a boss fight because there's less assets moving around.
The boss at the end of the stage that you're at is just a big Oni thing in a very small room. In terms of what you're saying, like the camera versus lock-on versus whatever, it's probably the most egregious in that because of your limited space. And there's like barrels in the way that like you could take out, but then you'd have to like remove your focus on the enemy who's gonna chuck a ball at you. Like he's got these two giant steel balls. So you just have to hope that he clears the area enough for you to move out the fucking way when he lunges at you, which he's going to lunge at you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the worst. Mm-hmm. It's the worst.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I think like the camera's snapping at like if you're locked on, the camera's snapping if you move around something that would be in the way of the camera is extremely disorienting, and I hate it. Camera angle also not great. Like camera control not great.
No.
They frequently use the camera's limited capability. Like there are a bunch of times, even just in the first area, where bandits jump out at you from houses that like you can only see if you approach from a specific direction. Do you know what I mean?
A specific angle. You can rotate the camera, but like then it causes
but it
this
doesn't
thing,
feel meaningful.
No, because it causes this thing of like you feel like you're playing a survival horror game at certain points because you're like, okay, just based on averages at this point, there's something's gonna be around this corner, and I'm in a very narrow hallway at the moment. Like it's a lot of that, which I think they probably do in Soulsborne games as well, like true like FromSoft games, because they just like fucking with you.
Yeah.
But because they almost play this as they're trying to be fair at certain points, it feels shittier.
Yeah. All right. Numbers time?
Yeah.
Let's piss some numbers at this bad boy. Does it work?
Okay, so largely I did find the controls decently responsive. Mm-hmm. Most of the times I died, it was entirely my fault. There are things where like they make it shitty, like a very narrow pathway on a cliff that like, because I'm now so used to dodge rolling, I'm going to roll right the fuck off that bitch. And that sucks, but like it is my mistake based on the design that they chose. So, like, I can't hold that against them for controls themselves. I didn't experience a ton of issues when it came to corners. I didn't have a ton of issues when it came to the actual response of, like, attacking and blocking or dodging. My timing was the main problem. So, like, I'm going to give this a full point because I don't feel like this is going to fare very well otherwise.
I'm really tempted to give it a 0. I hate games where, and I know that this is a skill thing, but like if I button mash like 4 times to get an attack in, and then because of the slow response time to that button mash, like I'm like, oh, I should be doing something else by the time my guy hits the 3rd attack. Like, you know what? I can't even get into this. This is such a skill issue, and people are gonna fucking come for me with pitchforks and torches if I talk about it anymore. So I'm just gonna give it a 0.5, and we'll move on with our day.
Fair enough.
Up next, is it engaging?
I think it could be. I think with like if it did the things that I said, it would be much more engaging because I think the bones of this are really good. And if this is your type of thing, like for sure, this would probably score higher. I'm going to say 0.5 because of the fact that like I just think there's too many things to keep my interest.
Sure.
Over a prolonged period of time. I tricked myself into it, but that's not the same thing.
Isn't it though?
No. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm gonna give it a full point for engaging.
Okay.
Just because like it wasn't engaging for me. And as we run through these, take my opinions with a grain of salt because again, didn't make it out of the first area. So, whatever. But I can definitely see a universe where all of these systems slotting into place in your brain makes it like fucking galaxy brain type shit of engagement. Like figuring out that puzzle, I feel like could very well be the engaging piece to this. So I'm gonna give it a full point because I can see that path. It's not for me, but I can see it.
Now that you said it, I am genuinely curious what Aaron would think of this.
Sure. Yeah.
Because like Aaron loves Elden Ring, right?
I think Will likes it more than
Will
Aaron
definitely
does, but
yeah.
Aaron has definitely engaged with Elden Ring, I think.
Okay. I mean, I know what, because we've talked about it and had him on the show for a specific one. Like, I know the types of games that he does like, but having played a TTRPG with him, like, I do feel like there's a lot of things here that he'd get more use out of than I would. But
yeah. All right. Up next, does it look good?
So we were playing the remastered edition. I have no idea what the original edition looks like. The remastered
Fuck,
is
there's a remastered edition?
this is the remastered edition.
Woof. Okay.
I don't think it looks bad. I think there are some really cool design choices. I think some of the armor is god awful.
Oh yeah.
Like there is some light customability, which like that's the funny thing is that they skimped on is customizability when it comes to armor and your general look. I think that it's funny that that's the thing that they didn't go whole hog on, but it looks fine. I mean, for the era, it looks fine. For a remaster, it looks fine. It's a, I don't know, 0.5. My biggest complaint, my biggest gripe is that it's so fucking muddy.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's an environmental choice to make it as dark as it is. Like, I don't think almost any of the stages are in fucking daylight.
Cool.
Yeah. There's one, like, big battle sequence, like, that's largely in daylight, but then it's foggy, so like still kind of just gray and dark. It's I don't know, 0.5.
Sure. Can I tell you something, Dan?
Yeah.
I cannot find a single screenshot of Nioh, the original Nioh, in comparison to the remaster.
Okay.
All I can find is the PS4 versus PS5 version, and then everything else has been Nioh 2. So I'm sure you're right, but I have no evidence.
I mean, I think that was the
suggest.
remastered. Like, it was just the jump to from PS4 to PS5. So like, it's not like there was a huge graphical. Like, it's not PS2 to PS5. It's not PS3 to PS5. Like,
well, I guess what I'm saying then is that I did not have a remastered version because I did not play it on PS5.
True. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like it's just a little bit brighter on PS5, to be honest with you.
Oh, this was the bright version?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dog. Let me tell you something. I'm supposed to wear glasses at night when I drive.
Mm-hmm.
There were several times while I was playing just the first area, which, again, I mean, not again, but it's fairly well lit in terms of torches being out and about, but I had a hard time fucking seeing, and I turn the brightness up in every single game that I play because I know that I have this problem. They're like, oh, just make it so that the one on the left is just visible. Baby, that's going all the way up because I know that you have a dungeon level that's going to make me blind as a fucking bat.
For sure. Yeah. The amount of time I spent in caves in this motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm going to give it 0.5 as well, and we're going to move off of that. Is there replayability?
Okay.
Is replayability the same as playing it over and over again, right?
So there's a compulsory thing to it where you have to replay certain stages, but like I don't know that I would give a fuck enough about this to try out a different full build. Like,
sure,
they make you choose in the beginning of the game what your like focus is going to be weapon-wise, and largely I don't feel like that mattered at all.
No.
I did not choose axes, and I primarily used axes with no penalty that I can tell. Like, it was the first that I maxed my like skills on, and it was not part of my initial options.
Can I tell you something that was really fucking frustrating about that shit? So have you picked that stuff after you play through the Tower of London, right? You do not have access to like 60% of the weapon types that they present you with when you have to make this decision.
Right. So you kind of don't know what you're
So you have no idea what they play like.
Right. You pretty much just have axe, spear, and long sword.
You get the sword. Yeah. Sword, spear, axe, and I don't think you use a long sword ever. Like, that's not one of the options, I don't think.
No, because the katana does play slightly different.
Kind of replace it, yeah.
From what, again, a lifetime ago. But
sure.
But yeah, so like outside of the spear and the axe, you don't really understand how these are gonna function. And again, it doesn't really matter as much as you think it would because you get drops pretty immediately, weapon-wise.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you do fuck up like I did and choose like the like chained blade kind of deal, which I used the least out of everything, it's like, okay, this is wildly ineffective. It just chip damage.
Can I tell you that when I saw the weapon choices, I was like, Dan's absolutely going to pick that one.
Of course.
For sure.
Yeah. And like, yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, replayability.
I'm going to say no, just because like the build options I can do all of them. Like I have done all of them. There really isn't a massive difference in what your build would be from game to game that I think this would warrant a replay. Mm-hmm. You are probably better off. And like, okay, here's the crazy thing. I mentioned that there is a team thing. There is still a very active number of people playing this. And I don't think it's on crazy. New playthroughs. I think it's just you do the same shit over and over. I don't think there is a replay as much as there is a continued play. Mm-hmm. And that's not what this question is. So I'm going to say 0 because if I'm defining it as like start fresh, there's no fucking way I would want to do that. Hypothetically, like continuing to play, I can maybe do, but
yeah, it's the difference between starting over in Far Cry 5 and just playing post-game shit.
Yeah.
For me. So
for sure.
This is 0 for me. Also, next up, is there a story?
Yeah. Point. Like I said, I don't know if I can weigh in on the merits of it. I do think it's an odd choice to not just make the character Japanese or even stick to the original Kurosawa idea of having him be like half Japanese but living in Japan. But there is definitely a story, and like kind of a deep story, despite the fact that I don't understand what the fuck's going on all the time. Like to tie in all of these actual historical events and then also magic stuff is like, it's at least novel. I'll give it credit there. So I'm going to give it a full point just because this is faring so much better than I had anticipated. Yeah, fuck it. Full point. I just grumble.
I'm going to give it a half.
Yeah.
Because I can only really judge it on what you've said. But that being said, it's real easy to make him fucking Japanese, man.
Yeah. Don't know why.
Yeah.
Look,
I am going to kind of score it on merits of story because that's not good storytelling. It was 2017. Like, white savior shit is not like a new issue. You know what I mean?
But it's a Japanese company. Like that's the most baffling part,
though, dog. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's just let's do these fivers and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, sure. All right. So our final big 5-point question: is it worth the cost?
So Nioh currently retails at $19.99. I put a lot of hours into this.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel that if this was my type of game, I would feel more satisfied with that. I don't know that I am the most qualified person to objectively rate this in any way other than for a $20 game, I put in a shit ton of time into this, and there's still more to go. If this was my thing, I would feel like I got a whole lot of bang for that buck. I'm going to say 3.5. I know we don't normally do half points on this, but I'm doing it. 3.5 points is where I'm sticking on this.
Okay.
I don't know why. I feel like being difficult now.
I was gonna say this is literally the first time that we've ever done half points on cost.
Yeah.
So
I feel like this is the one. This one broke me, Shea.
Sure.
I've put in a lot of hours to a lot of games that I like barely liked. This is the first one where I'm like, having downloaded something else and went, oh, this is fun, and then like even the thought of going back to it was so excruciating. I'm like, I just can't.
I hear you. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
I think it's again kind of that like galaxy brain sliding the puzzle piece into the last spot.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like if you definitely spend your time with this game, right? If it's your thing, you stick with it, and it becomes satisfying, I guess. That's not a part of my brain that activates when I play games like these, but it's somebody's flavor. So I feel like 138 hours on this bad boy. Even if you chop that in half, that's still a great deal of gameplay for a $20 game. You know?
Yeah.
So I should honestly give it a 5, but I feel like I don't want to piss you off.
I feel like I should too, and that's the sad thing is like I kind of agree with that. You know what? Okay, I'll do it if you do it. Like because like from a real objective standpoint, I'm being salty. Like from a real objective standpoint, this is so much game for that amount. Like this is a AAA title. Yeah. It's everything about it is AAA. Like nothing feels indie about this. There's so much work that's put into it. There's so many systems in place that are well thought out. If that's your fucking thing, it's a 5. Mm-hmm. It's a 5.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is a 5. Yes. It is a 5, and I don't like that.
I don't either. Know?
Well, I shouldn't say that. I do like giving it a 5 here, but I don't love this next part that we do where you tell us what the final scores are for this game.
I'm looking at them. I'm staring at them with my eyeballs, and I said this is going to be one of the worst rated games for me, and like in my soul, that's true, but the numbers don't lie, and
yeah.
It's an 8 from me and a 7.5 from you.
7.5 is real high for me.
You. It's so high. Here's the real truth of the matter. It's a good game. It's just not my kind of game, and like, I'm okay admitting that. We are well established on the show to not be Souls-like people, but objectively, it's a well-done game with a lot of really cool ideas. Have at it, motherfuckers. Like, good job, Tecmo. Numbers aside, is this something you would recommend?
I do want to say this. When did Dark Souls come out? I assume before 2017?
For sure.
The point I want to make is that besides overly complicated systems, like, what does this game add to the genre? Do you know what I mean? Because that's kind of where my sticking point with recommending it is like, is it innovating or is it just complicating? And if that's the case, go play Dark Souls instead, you know?
I think the innovation lies in having not played Demon Souls. I think that's largely open world. I think most of the FromSoft games are largely open world.
Mm-hmm.
Capsule.
I mean, this is open world capsules, I would say, if that makes sense. I know that those sound like contradictory terms, but like you can go wherever you want in the little capsule.
Having it be largely objective and mission based as opposed to figure fuck out.
Just real quick. Yeah. Just real quick though. What was the fucking mission in the first area? Because I didn't get a quest marker. You know what I mean? I didn't have a fucking mission marker that told me where I was going. I was just dicking around on the beach.
Yeah, so that unfortunately doesn't come into play until you get through that part, and they tell you very specifically what it is that you're trying to do in each stage. This was,
oh my god,
I'm stranded. What do I do? And then you come across a big fucking monster, and you're like, and then you run into historical Japanese figures.
So what I'm gathering is that they have that first beach area to weed out the dickheads like me who are just trying it for shits and giggles, huh? Anyway,
I think that's a fair assessment, although not one that I would have ever drawn.
All right. Would I recommend it? Probably not, but I hate these games, so who am I talking to about them? If somebody else has already brought up Dark Souls or Bloodborne or whatever, I'm not going to say shit about this game.
Correct.
So, no. The answer is no. All right.
If I ran into somebody that said, I think I want to play these kind of games, I'm just real dog shit at it, I'd be like, well, there is this, and I did okay. I didn't like it.
Oh, no.
Like,
no, see, what would happen there is I would take their precious baby face in between my hands and say, you're never going to be, and then we'll move on with the conversation.
Just play Donkey Kong Country, man. Like, time is not infinite, is what I would tell them.
Speaking of...
Hey, Shea, want to play a game?
Yes, let's do it.
Oh, great.
It's 2026, the death of the saw trap bit.
Oh, is it? Well.
We'll see.
Yeah, well.
We'll see.
All right. Well, as noted in the short change, Nioh is based on an unfinished script by Akira Kurosawa. But that got me thinking. I'm sure that there must have been other instances of filmmakers being tied to video games in some capacity, right? And Shea, I found some truly mind-blowing examples.
Okay.
So sure, we know that Kojima took his love of film and shoehorned the ever-loving shit out of Death Stranding with the likes of Guillermo del Toro and Edgar Wright. But we've covered that in previous quizzes. But today, instead, I'm going to ask you 5 pop culture trivia questions regarding directors, producers, and other film bigwigs and their involvement in some extremely popular video games. And we're kicking things off with a real heavy hitter. So, Shea, after the success of Saving Private Ryan, Steven goddamn Spielberg decided that he wanted to create his very own World War II video game. Although the initial development was met with some pushback, mostly due to what many critics felt was trivializing military action and backlash over the very specific choice of name, Spielberg and DreamWorks pressed forward and produced and wrote the stories for the first 3 installments of what long-running series, often credited for popularizing the realistic military FPS genre.
This is E.T. the video game.
That's right. Yep.
No, is it Medal of Honor?
It is Medal of Honor. Yeah. I was not aware that he wrote the fucking story for the first 3 of those games.
And I mean, I think if that's true, you'll see why the 4th one didn't have a story. 4th onward, I should say. Sorry, 4th onward didn't have
Was it just formulaic from that point?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I did mention this, and I'm going to get specific. So the Congressional Medal of Honor Society was like, hey, don't do that. And Steven Spielberg was like, yeah, I'm going to fucking do that. And so, yeah, that's fun as shit. All right, that's one right. So many years before he would take up the helm as the co-CEO of DC Studios, Warner Brothers tapped James Gunn to work on a secret project with our old friend Goichi Suda, a.k.a. Suda51. Gunn was initially brought in to work solely on cutscenes, but eventually he was given full creative control over the script and everything that entailed, including all of the dialogue for the main protagonist, in a game that, if we're being honest, would have fit perfectly within the Trauma universe. What game am I talking about? We have discussed this.
I need to refresh my memory on what Trauma universe means.
Well, that would be like The Toxic Avenger, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Thanksgiving, Romeo and Juliet, which is the first film that Gunn had worked on.
Yikes.
Yeah.
How is he successful? You know what I mean? You hear the origins of some of these people, and you're just like, and you got a second job?
He's got
anyway.
Yeah, he's in charge of Superman. Man,
no, that's what I'm saying, dog. Is how did we get from Romeo and Juliet to fucking DC head honcho?
I've seen that fucking movie, and it is nuts.
Okay,
I mean, all of the Trauma films are like objectively insane, but like that one specifically, hoofda. If I know you as well as I think I know you, there has never been a movie I thought you would like less.
Now, Dan.
Yeah.
I've watched Velocipaster.
That's charming in comparison.
Okay, you need me to tell you the name of the movie that James Gunn worked on with Suda51?
The video game, yeah. We have discussed this.
Sorry, yes. Oh, boy. Mm-hmm.
Happy to provide some hints as needed.
Yeah. I'd love them.
Okay.
I would like to buy a hint, please.
Sure.
Dan.
Ironically, the protagonist of this game, given the fact that I talked about the movie that I talked about, is named Juliet, and she is a high school student.
Is it Lollipop Chainsaw?
It is Lollipop Chainsaw.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, James Gunn completely...
That makes so much sense, dude.
Honestly, I know. It's insane. Yeah. 2 for 2, baby. All right. Up next, games, much like films, can be undeniably enhanced by a great score. What would Darth Vader be without the Imperial March? Would the opening of the gates for the first time to Jurassic Park feel as magical without that theme? Now, like, granted, both of those examples are John Williams, and unfortunately, he's only been credited in games featuring music he wrote for the films that they were adapting, like Star Wars and Jurassic Park. But fortunately for us, he is far from the only noteworthy composer out there. So I ask you, what Oscar and Grammy winning composer and frequent collaborator of Christopher Nolan worked on the scores for, among others, Dragon Age Veilguard, Assassin's Creed 3 and Revelations, and is even the creator of the main theme song for Skylanders?
Is that Hans?
It is motherfucking Hans
Zimmer.
Dude, crazy. He's worked on, like, him and his protege.
The theme for Skylanders.
He wrote the fucking main theme for Skylanders. Isn't that insane?
Was he dying? What happened?
Fucking I don't know, man. No, because he's not dead now.
Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, no, he got out of dying by writing the theme for Skylanders.
Getting that Spyro money helped him with some sort of treatment. I don't know. Yeah, fucking nuts, dude. So him and his protege have worked on like a bunch of video games together. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on a roll, Shay. All right, let's keep this going.
Fucking Skylanders. Yeah, sure.
I knew you'd get a kick out of that. All right. In a story that I assumed was fake because it just seemed so goddamn implausible, it was announced last year that indie powerhouse A24 was developing an adaptation of some game that you may have heard of called Elden Ring, with Alex Garland attached to write and direct. You know who Alex Garland is?
I've heard his name, but mainly in connection with the Elden Ring movie. So,
well,
I'm sure I've seen other things that he's done.
Yeah, most notably, I would assume Ex Machina and Annihilation.
Oh, yeah.
That fucking guy.
Yeah.
So he was interviewed around the time that this was announced, and he said that he was on his 7th playthrough of that fucking game, which is crazy. But before he made the jump from writer to director, he was the lead story supervisor for the reboot of what fan favorite Capcom franchise?
Reboot.
I'll give you a real good hint.
Sure.
We literally said the name of it earlier in this very episode.
Oh, was it Devil May Cry?
Yeah. So he was the lead story editor for DMC, the Devil May Cry reboot that they just like decided they weren't gonna continue, and then they just came out with Devil May Cry 5. Like,
yeah,
DMC happened between 4 and 5, and they were like, let's just go back to what we were doing.
Just not doing that anymore.
So fucking silly. Yeah. So he went from like writing movies with Danny Boyle, like 28 Days Later, to this, to directing, which I think is a very interesting arc. And now he's like doing all sorts of shit.
Has anybody checked on him? If he's playing Elden Ring for a 7th time?
I'm sure he's on his 8th or 9th by this point. Fuck if I know.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah, man.
Whatever.
But the very idea that A24 is making an Elden Ring movie makes so fucking little sense. Whatever. All right. Fucking 4 for 4, and I wrote this one specifically with you in mind, so I think we might have a 5 for 5 on our hands, but we shall see.
Is it Uwe Boll's Far Cry?
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, that's going to do it for... No. So when it was time to build up hype for Dead Space at E3 2008, EA made an uncharacteristically genius move and hired an up-and-coming horror director to create the trailer for the trade show, titled Loved Ones. Little did they know, this director would go on to create the highest grossing horror franchise of all time. What director am I talking about?
It's got to be James Wan.
It's motherfucking James Wan, dude. So
yeah, buddy.
Okay, let's put this into context. No. But let's put this into context.
The Conjuring, right? That's his the highest grossing horror franchise
nearly
of all time.
$3 billion grossing horror franchise, The Conjuring, which he is was solidly at the helm of. He is the creative force behind that. But for the context, you're absolutely right. He had only really done Saw by the time that this had happened. Like, in terms of feature
arguably, films, his partner on that film was more the creative force behind that film.
I mean, he left the franchise pretty shortly thereafter.
Immediately. Yeah, James Wan made it a franchise, but what's his fucking name? See, this is exactly what's happened. James Wan, famous for many, 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 many things. The other guy, can't remember his name. Lee Wanell, I think.
Sure.
That's the name of the guy that's in the bathroom with Dr. Gordon, but I can't remember if that was the creator or not. Anyway, sorry.
I only learned today, because I'd stopped watching those movies, that the whole like speculative thing about Dr. Gordon ended up being true. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Learned that legit today.
Yeah.
But hey, I've got a bonus point for you.
Yeah, sure.
What adaptation is James Wan currently rumored to be attached to?
Ooh.
Video game adaptation, I should specify.
Are they doing another Resident Evil?
They're not. Well,
movie?
I mean, definitely yes, probably, but like, no, that's not the answer.
Is that what we're talking about? Okay. Is it Fuck, I feel like I know the answer. Do you have a hint for this one or not? No, because it's a bonus point.
It's a bonus point, and it's just a fun fact, and kind of interesting. It is a horror.
It's a horror movie. It is a horror game. I mean,
that has not yet been, at least on this scale, adapted. Like, they've done things for it.
Is it The Evil Within?
It is not.
That would have been really cool, though. I'd love to see that game adapted.
No, we're going full circle, because he's currently attached to direct the Dead Space fucking adaptation.
Oh my god! You know what? I fucking as soon as you asked it, I was like, "Was he doing the Dead Space game?" Because
isn't that shit? Isn't that fucking crazy? No.
Sense.
Like, he's gonna do he's at least. So this has popped up a couple times. Original rumors were in 2003. Rumors came back out in 2005. I think there's just a development hell thing going on with this. Like, it's gonna be so expensive.
Well, I think EA has the rights on that.
Well, they for sure have the rights, and like, we're living in kind of a golden age of video game adaptations. I mean, Fallout's so.
Speaking of, he is
goddamn good.
He is a producer on Mortal Kombat 2. So
he is doing that as well. Yeah, but like, producing.
Right.
As far as everything I can tell right now, it looks to be true. It's just finding a home for it right now and getting funding, and there's a lot of logistics involved in doing this, because you could do it all CGI, all the necromorphs or whatever the fuck those things are called.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he'd want to do it largely practical, if possible, like just based on the other things I've seen of his work. Because like even the Conjuring films are like, they used a lot of practical when they could. So I'm extremely interested to see this, if it is true, because I think he is probably the right guy for it, and because he has this history with the franchise, like I think it'd just be a really cool bow on the whole thing. So yeah.
Oh shit! Can I tell you what movie he has coming out that he's directing? The Call of Cthulhu, which is slightly different than the game we covered, but
okay.
He's also producing a Dead by Daylight movie. So
so he's just okay. Well,
he's in it. He's in it now.
Yeah, apparently so. Okay.
Let's get out of here.
Yep,
man.
5 for 5. Great job. Very proud of you. Throw it on the big fictional board. But that's going to just about do it for us today. As always, you can follow us on social media at Blue Sky, where we post custom artwork for every episode, as well as sales that you should be aware of that we call cheap codes.
If you'd like to share the show, you can do so with our hosting site, which is anchor.fm/bngpod. If you want to follow us on Twitch, where I am so far streaming every other Sunday.
Yeah, you're doing great, by the way.
Yeah, 1 for 1 of the new year.
It's a perfect record.
You could do that over at twitch.tv/BNG podcast. And then if you'd like to catch all of those streams and every one of our episodes since the summer of, I think I've been saying 2023, but I think our AAA summer was 2022. Either way, we have a bunch of episodes over on our YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BrokenGamingPodcast.
And if you want to send us an email for any reason, and I feel like 2026 is a perfect time to get back into like suggested crimes. So send some of those our way. Or, games that you think we should play, you can do so at brokengamingpod@gmail.com. All right. Shay, we fucking did it. We never have to discuss this goddamn game again.
We sure don't.
I feel so much better. I feel like a huge weight is off my shoulders. All right. And with that, goodbye, absolutely everyone.
Goodbye.